Numerous people have taken the stand and testified in the shocking case of Harmony Montgomery, and we're going to talk about a few of those highlights in today's video. Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to Sofa. Sofa's back there. Roscoe's back there. He's cleaning himself again. He seems to do that every time I fire the old camera up. My name's Paul, and I'm not cleaning myself, but I am talking. Now, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about this absolutely horrific case. Now, at this point in recording, the case has wrapped. It's come to a conclusion. Or the trial, I'm sorry. This is of Adam Montgomery. He was found guilty. Amen. But we're still going back and just reviewing some of the testimony and whatnot. I was not watching it as it went through all of it, so I've been going back over it. And I wanted to speak to some of the testimony that I saw on the stand, specifically such as Harmony's biological mother, Kayla's mother, and then who I consider one of the star witnesses, Rebecca, who had a lot of sass to give to the defense of Adams. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. The structure of it will be, we'll be viewing clips, talking about it, that type of thing. So that's it. Now, if you want to follow Roscoe and I outside of the old YouTubes, go on. You can follow us on the on the grams, on the Instagram. It's on the screen. It's in the description. Do what you do with that link. And so that's it. Let's go ahead and just start talking about it and kind of get everybody on the same page. Okay, now remember, Adam was the biological father of Harmony and Kayla was the stepmother. Now, the biological mother of Harmony, Crystal, does take the stand, and I want to start off by looking at some of her testimony. Crystal lives in Massachusetts, and the questioning goes to June 7th, 2014. And when asked about the significance, Crystal tears up, and she says that that was Harmony's birthday. She says that Harmony is the only girl that she had, and the mother confirmed that yes, Harmony did have some medical issues when she was born.
She was blind in her right eye. She was misdiagnosed twice before that. Yeah, just blind in her right eye.
Now, 3 months after Harmony was born, she went to live with a woman named Michelle. Crystal says that she knows her very well, and when asked why this happened, Crystal said that she is a recovering drug addict. She was struggling at the time. She was having a hard time with Harmony's diagnosis. However, she did regain custody of Harmony in 2016.
When the two of you were living together, how was Harmony?
Amazing. Rambunctious, very smart. By the time she was 2, she could tell you her whole life story.
She was talkative?
Yes.
Now, Crystal would also confirm that yes, Harmony was potty trained and that she did well with that. In 2018, Harmony went back to live with Michelle for a bit. Crystal also confirmed that in 2019, Adam would get custody. Crystal said that after this, she had 2 physical visits with Harmony and 2 FaceTime visits. And Crystal said during this time, she communicated with Adam via Facebook because he wouldn't give her his phone number.
How did you communicate with Adam at that time?
Facebook.
Facebook?
Yeah, he wouldn't give me his number.
When did you last see Harmony?
April
of
2019.
April of 2019?
Yeah, right before Easter.
Now, this visit was via Facebook chat as well. Now, the line of questioning would move over to how much she tried getting in touch with Adam, but with absolutely no luck. And of course, during this, there is no ability to see or get in touch with Harmony.
By December of 2021, what else were you doing to try to find Harmony?
I was
to respond.
I was, calling DCF. I was, telling my therapist, talking to anybody that I knew was either a mandated reporter or had some type of leverage because I wasn't getting anywhere.
Now, she would meet with police and she would let them do whatever they needed to do in order to help find Harmony. So she gave them access to her phone, computers, Facebook, whatever, DNA swabs, you name it. She was trying to find her daughter. Now, Adam's defense will cross-examine Crystal and go over basic questions, basically just to clarify dates, relationships. What I want to do is take a look at some other testimony now. I want to look at Kimberly. Now, she was familiar with both Adam and Kayla. She worked with the both of them, and that's how they actually met. Now, she said that she had met Harmony once she babysat the kids, and the questioning would then move to the subject of jumper cables. And she said that she only did this once for them. Now, remember, the jumper cable incident took place on the day of the incident with Harmony when Adam did what he did to her. So just keep that in your mind as we listen to some of these clips.
How How did he reach out to you for help?
He either called me or it was on Facebook. I can't remember which. And he said that their car had died and it was freezing out and they wanted me to come jumpstart their car. And I told them no, but they kept begging and I felt bad. So I went.
And now here she sits. You know, she was totally regretting having gone and done that, right? I can imagine that these are the type, and by these, I mean Kayla and Adam, that wore their welcome out with everybody. Because you can get this vibe as you hear people talking that they just were just taking everything they could. I mean, they're just hustling constantly, right? So it's just, you know, whatever they could do to get something out of everybody, and everyone's just starting to cut ties. Obviously, when children are involved, though, it tugs at your heartstrings. So it's like, okay, these are really crappy parents, but they're broke down on the side of the road. It's freezing cold. They have kids in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Now, she said it was in the middle of the night, and she went to a street behind the Colonial Apartments. Remember, that's where they were living in the parking lot. And she recalls the blue Audi. That's the car that the friend had let them stay in, and that Kayla said their friend let them use for the weekend, this car. Now, she said upon arrival, a Good Samaritan stopped and helped Adam jumpstart the car, while Kayla and the two boys sat in the car with her and blasted the heat.
Was Harmony there with you? Did she get into the car as well with Kayla and the two boys?
No.
Did you see Harmony at all while you were there that night?
No.
Now, of course, at this point, we know why Harmony didn't get in the car and why she never saw her. Now, this young lady would say that she was beginning to distance herself at this time from the two. So again, you can imagine just how much these people probably ran all over everyone around them. Okay, now let's move on to some other testimony. And this is going to be the testimony of Kevin Montgomery. Now, remember, Kevin Montgomery is the uncle to Adam. Now, a whole bunch of people lived in this house on Guilford Street. It was Adam, Kayla, the kids, Adam's grandmother, Kevin, and I think somebody else as well, but it was a house full of people, right? So Kevin takes the stand, and at one point the state will ask him, like, you know, hey, were you subpoenaed to testify? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, do you want to be up here testifying against your nephew? And he's like, no. I can imagine it's the testimony we're about to see. It's heartbreaking, and you can tell that Kevin genuinely cared for Harmony and her safety and did everything he knew how to help her, but to no avail, obviously. Now, he would outline how each of their children came to live with them. And the questioning then moves to when Kevin went to Florida. It was like for 3 weeks. And he spoke of visiting with his mother, who was having some health issues. And then the questioning will move to his return home and what took place when he saw Harmony upon that return.
And when you saw her in the kitchen, how did she look to you?
She had a black eye.
Y'all, his testimony gets me every time. I'm not gonna lie. The heartbreak in his voice that you don't hear from Kayla, you know, obviously not Adam, right? But you just hear it in his voice, how much it disturbed him to see this. I got goosebumps so bad right now. The images that he has seared in his mind, I can only imagine. So clearly he's upset about this, right? Now, he said that her eye was black and blue. He described it like a raccoon's eye. And he said something to the effect of, like, I'm going to just paraphrase it, but like OMFG to Adam. Like, what did you do to Harmony? And this is what he had to say that Adam said.
And what did Adam say?
She didn't do anything. I bashed her around the fucking house.
Imagine hearing this brutal answer coming from your nephew about a 5-year-old. The word bashing and around the house. And Kevin would say that he was cocky about this because even just hearing it, it sounds cocky. Like he was getting off on the power of, like, yeah, she didn't do anything. I bashed around the house. Who in their right mind would even just resort to doing that, number one, but number two, then like get off on bragging about it, basically. Now, of course, the state would move on to, well, why did Adam say he did this, that type thing? And we've heard this story throughout the trial and whatnot, but Kevin will say that Adam said he went to the bathroom, he left Harmony in charge of the other kids, and he comes out and Harmony's hand is over one of the baby's mouths and his lips were turning blue. Now this of course is per Adam. And so this is when turn he went over and, you know, bashed her around the house or whatever. My theory has always been with this part is that Harmony, if this is even true, right? We can't even really believe it because of Adam saying it. Any reasoning could have been for him to do this to Harmony, right? The wind blew too strong. Let me go hit Harmony. My thought process is the baby was crying and she knew that that was going to trigger a rage in Adam. And so she covered the baby's mouth because as a little 5-year-old, that's all you would know to do to try and save the baby from your father's wrath. And then he came out and probably saw that and made the whole thing up about the baby's mouth turning blue and went off on her. You know, that's just my theory though. I don't have evidence of that. So Kevin would say that he stayed at the house that night, but the next morning he was like, I'm gone. And then they were like, okay, so, you know, who did you tell?
Told my mom. Told my son's mother, Christina. Told my sister, Erin. My brothers, Sean, Michael, and Richard. I told one of Adam's friends, Nick and Aaron. I told Harmony's mom, Crystal. I told Harmony's foster mom, Michelle. I think I told my sister Janine, my mother Helen. That's kind of what I remember.
Now, he also said that he called the agency the DCYF in hopes to help Harmony. And he said that he called all these people in places trying to get that help. And he said that after that, Adam and them were evicted from the home and he didn't see Harmony again. Now, the state would ask about a later conversation that Kevin had with Adam about the whole incident. And he said that, you know, Adam apologized or something like that about the black guy, but, you know, obviously he didn't mean it, right? He was just probably trying to cover his tracks. Now, let's take a moment. Let's hear from Kayla's mother. Now, she would be the one to identify the red cooler that Harmony was stored in. Remember, Adam and Kayla were moving from place to place and moving her remains from container to container, from place to place, trying to obviously hide her body, hide their actions. Now, this lady's name is Christina. She lives in Manchester, and she would establish that, yes, Kayla is her daughter, and she was married to Adam. Now, she said that she only met Harmony one time, and that was around Thanksgiving before they got evicted. Now, Adam and Kayla came around a second time and Harmony was no longer there. And when it comes to where the idea of using the cooler was born, let's hear what Christina has to say.
Kayla had called me at one point before seeing them at my house about having a flat tire and needing money for it. So I was leaving for the day. So I left them money in a cooler in my side hallway so that they could get their tire fixed.
You left the money in a cooler?
Yes.
Could you describe what did the cooler look like?
It was a red cooler with a white top that would flip open.
You can almost hear the grisly wheels in Adam's mind turning as he saw that cooler. Now, they, of course, would end up staying with the mother for a couple of weeks before moving on to the shelter. Now, Christina said that she used the cooler to store, like, basketball, like, stuff for, you know, basketball tournaments and things like that, like food and whatnot. And, of course, it's heartbreaking to watch her identify the cooler.
You can just look at this object in general. I'm going to go ahead and open it. Other than the conditions it's in. Can you see the color?
Yes.
The shape?
Yes.
The handle?
Yes.
Is this the same cooler?
It looks like the same thing.
They would also question her about the various tools that she had around her place. Now that we've gone over some of that testimony and whatnot, I want to move into some of the most interesting sofa, edge of your seat gripping testimony I've seen in a while, and that is the testimony of Rebecca. Now, Rebecca at one point was very close with Adam. They were sober friends, she would say. She would deliver some very damning and very explosive testimony. She would also deliver a healthy dose of sassy for the defense attorney who tries his hardest to shame and blame her. Now, at the time of her testimony, she is serving a prison sentence for parole violation. The state will address this as well as her previous theft charges. However, she'd been clean for 10 months with plans to continue working on her life, she will say. Now, she was a nurse before whatever battle she ended up battling kind of overtook her, and she ended up where she's at now. She met Adam in 2021, and she said that she would have said that, you know what, I would have considered him a best friend. They spent time together every day for a couple of months, and, you know, they were really tight and had some really deep conversations.
At the time in 2021, did you ever talk with Adam Montgomery about a daughter named Harmony?
I did.
Okay. Where did he say she was living in 2021 when you talked with him?
He told me that he dropped her off to her mother in 2019 at a rest area.
Now keep these dates in mind as we make our way through her testimony and how he speaks of Harmony to her. Of course, now we have hindsight to look back, and these statements and things that he was saying about his daughter, we can now see that with the, through the lens of she was no longer alive at this time. Now, she said that he would also say that Crystal was the one keeping him away from seeing Harmony. Now, he did mention that Harmony was always wetting her pants and using the bathroom, and even said that she would do this on purpose. Now, when asked what his reasoning was in returning her, this is what Rebecca had to say.
What did he say about why he decided to send Harmony back to her mother?
Because she continually shit her pants. Sorry.
That's okay. Are those his words?
Yes.
Okay. Then those are his words. Remember, one of the things is to make sure that you always tell the truth, correct? You just took an oath a moment ago to tell
Absolutely.
the truth.
Now, Rebecca would also echo the same story that we've heard about the black eye incident where Adam came out of the bathroom, her hand was over the baby's mouth, and the whole 9 yards.
Finally, with regards to what the defendant stated to you about Harmony, what, if anything, did he ever say, or I'm sorry, who, if anyone, did he ever say Harmony reminded him of?
Her mother.
Her mother?
Her mother.
And did he tell you how that made him feel? God bless you.
He said he hated her. Right to his core.
Ms. Means, you stated a moment ago that the defendant indicated or said to you that he hated Harmony's mother. Is that correct?
No.
Oh, who did he hate?
Harmony.
He hated Harmony. Your testimony is Adam Montgomery told you that he hated his daughter. Did he say why?
She reminded him of her mother.
So not that. So your testimony isn't that he hated her mother. It's that he hated Harmony
Correct.
because she reminded him of
Her mother.
his mother.
God, this part gets me every time. I think that this is at the center of the case, is this right here. We'll talk about it at the end of the video. Now, there's a lot of back and forth with the state, right? And the defense in this part, as you just saw the little thing that we did. Now, this to me, like I said, was at the core of the case. He absolutely hated Harmony. He hated Crystal. Now, the defense will question Rebecca, and this is when things take a turn, okay? The defense will try to use her past against her and shame her and make her look bad, but she is able to invert this and take ownership of it. The defense starts off with a very, very condescending tones towards her.
Good morning, Ms. Maines.
Good morning.
I believe we met briefly just a few minutes ago, but again, I'm Jamie Brooks, and I represent Mr. Montgomery. I'm also going to be asking you some questions.
Okay.
Immediately no. Immediately no. Right off the bat, I was like, I can't with this. I cannot with this guy. Now, the defense is going to say that he wants to start off by asking her some questions about her convictions and specific dates and stuff like that. And she's like, okay, well, let's get into it.
Specifically, just to dive into the details a bit, 2014, theft, Rockingham County, correct?
Correct. I'm going to agree with you on all these charges. I don't know that we need to go through all of them.
2016, theft,
I'm a criminal, sir. Yes.
Rockingham County.
Yeah.
2016, theft by deception, Rockingham County.
If you say so. I am a criminal.
2016, 3 separate convictions for felony level theft out of Merrimack County.
If you say so. I don't have the documentation in front of me. I don't need it either. I am a criminal. I don't have a problem telling you that.
Okay, I absolutely love this woman. Here's the thing with this. Okay, there's many things going on here. First of all, keep in mind that the state already went over her criminal convictions in more of a generalized way, but they made no bones about it. Like, she ain't, Mother Teresa, right? I mean, she's done some stuff, right? She has some issues. She's, theft, all this kind of stuff. She's in prison right now, the whole 9 yards. He obviously is taking the tactic of trying to make her not a credible witness and all that, because her testimony is very damning, I'll say that. And to make it look like she's up there for a reason, this and the other. So I get that that's their job. He has a very smarmy tone. A very smarmy tone. And by her, at least this is for me, by her saying, I'm a criminal, I am. You don't have to go through all that. I'm a criminal to the jury. Everybody, I did it. This is me. Here's the thing. You can be two things at one time, right? She's saying that she has all these theft charges, all this stuff probably stemming from a drug habit. Are you going to leave your purse open with her or your wallet on the table? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get it. But does that mean that she can't care about Harmony and want to help bring justice? No, right? You can have these issues that she seems to have and also want to do right by Harmony, because you can see she gets choked up, right? During times where he asks her about it, because this, I get goosebumps again. Any regular, normal person, I don't care if you've done the stuff that she's talking about, whatever, you're going to get choked up when you put two and two together and put the whole story. She's sitting over here thinking that Crystal's keeping Harmony away from Adam. He's probably doing his little gaslighting and all that type of stuff. And then it turns out that he had killed this poor little thing. And he's talking all this smack about his dead daughter, that he took her life. So for her, it's like, it's a no-brainer, right? So just keep that in mind. And that's part of what I like about her testimony, is that she's taking ownership of this and like taking the power away that this guy's trying to have of making her feel like, next to nothing.
Would you like to see the charges?
No.
With different docket numbers?
No. I'm telling you I'm a criminal. I don't know why that would make a difference.
I mean, seriously. And this is the thing. She's taking that away from him. Like, we've gone over this. I've done these things. You're the only one that wants to do that. It makes I'm not trying to hide anything from this jury. I did this. It doesn't make a difference. If you say I did it, I did it. She's turning to them. I'm a criminal. It doesn't make a difference in what your client did to his daughter and told me. Period.
3 sets of charges out of 3 separate counties, correct?
Actually, it's 4.
There's a 4th?
Yes.
Now, this is another part I love, where he's like saying 3 and she corrects him. No, it's actually 4. And I said this in live chat too. I was like, she's getting ready to be like, look, I'm getting ready to catch 5 and 6 up in here when I come up over the stand if you don't zip it up, buddy. Okay.
I did. And that's not a problem at all. I was in treatment, sir.
You were on the lam?
I was in treatment, sir.
Absconded from your parole?
I was in treatment, sir.
Cannot roll my damn eyes hard enough. Drinking from the damn cup on that one. You were on the lam. Waited his whole damn career to do that. I could see him in school. I can't wait to get out and say that. You were on the lam. I mean, so cringy, right? But again, she's just taking ownership of it. And that's the best thing to do in this, because like I said, at the end of the day, she's up there for Harmony, right? This is what Adam told me. This is how it went down. I don't have any reason to not believe her. And here's my thing. Pretend that like, okay, all this was said, but they were going to also help her out on her cases. Okay, but fine. The fact that she got up here and was like, this is what Adam told me. You want to knock some stuff off my time for this next chart, whatever, go for it, right? I'm totally okay with that if it brings justice to Harmony. Like, what outweighs what? You know what I'm saying? Now, the defense will try every tactic possible to show, though, that she is trying to gain something and whatnot. Now, at the very end of it, the state will get up there and re-question her just to reestablish where everything is.
With regards to your testimony here today, do you have any promises with the state about what's going to happen to your other charges based upon how you testified today?
Not at all.
Have you ever asked for any promises from the state in exchange for your testimony here today?
I have not.
I mean, there you go, right? And she'll explain deeper into this when he's trying to make it sound like she's getting time knocked off. And she's like, that's up to the parole board. Like this, I don't get out early because the cops say so. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, do you think the parole board would look at it in favor? Like, oh, you know what? She got up here and testified. I'm sure. But again, it doesn't seem like it's her only motivating factor. She gets choked up talking about Harmony. It's just the whole 9 yards. That being said, whoa. Okay, lots of major testimony in this. A couple of things that stood out to me, and number one was a lot of with Rebecca's that we just talked about. So that whole thing with the cooler and Kayla's mother, I was just like, oh my God, thank God they didn't pull it out, because the mental images that I don't even know what these people are like in person or what the cooler is like in person, but the images that it conjures up is so disturbing. So to be in person and go through that, you know what I'm saying, and see that, it's just like, oof. It's very, very heavy. Also, to circle back around to the friend who went to do the jumper cable thing, and just this whole notion about Kayla and Adam, they were just out there hustling constantly. And I think that Harmony was a hustle for either both of them or Adam. I do believe that it was like, I want to get that disability check, I want to get that money, I want to get this and that. And at the heart of it is he hates Crystal, he hates Harmony. And there's that there. The direct association with that, the fact that he's telling this person, I hate Harmony, and she's already dead. The fact that anyone would say this about their child and mean it, okay, is beyond me, right? I do believe he hated her. His actions show that. And I think also he wanted to get back at Crystal. Now, if you remember, there's other testimony, and I don't know if it's necessarily in this video, where she's like, you know, on the visits that I did go to, the in-person ones with Harmony at the house, she was only allowed in like one room, like the living room and the bathroom or something like that. She never even saw where Harmony lived. And it created this like imagery of severe control. And I'm imagining her at this house. Kayla's there, Adam's there, and this completely negative energy hanging over, you know, and it probably came from everybody, meaning Kayla and Adam, towards her. All of the people present here just have a lot of issues going on with their lives. There's a lot of drug addiction, it seems, a lot of being in jail or prison and whatnot. You know, and Harmony sounds like, and it looks like, and it played out like she was thrown in the middle of that. Now, again, I'll say this. I think that Harmony did get to experience love while she was here. Sounded like she had spurts of time where she was cared for and loved on this earth. You can also see that people like Kevin and, you know, I would venture to say, Rebecca didn't know her, but, you know, she seems like a caring person, but people who knew her in person, you know, Kevin seems to have truly have looked out for her feelings. He tried to help her. He was very disturbed by what he saw. And so at least she had that. It seems like her mother loved her. Yes, her mother had a lot of issues going on that, you know, got in the way of mothering, right? Which is unfortunate. But it sounds like she was also very loved by these foster parents that took her in. So, you know, if there's any kind, I don't know what's called a silver lining, because there just isn't one, but it's just, it makes you, or at least makes me feel a little bit better knowing, okay, at least she could experience some form of love while here. Because I think the majority of her life was spent around this kind of abuse, right? And I think the latter part of her life, meaning that she was under Adam and Kayla's care, who viewed her as just, and you know, she was in the way. She was a check that needed to be fed and got in their way and pooped in her pants and did all this stuff, and it sent Adam over the edge. Unfortunately, the last part of Little Harmony's life was not good at all. It was like the worst that it could possibly be. And my heart breaks for her, and what, you know, again, I've said it 100 times, what was going through her mind in those final moments, in those final days where it just escalated and escalated and escalated to that. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. So that being said, if you're still watching, I do appreciate it. Let me know what you thought about the testimony, any testimony you want to talk about, but specifically also I'm very interested in Rebecca's testimony, because it was just such and I don't know how to describe this any other way, it was such a unique line of questioning from defense to witness, because of the way she just kind of took ownership of it and kind of took that away from the defense and took his smarminess away from him and turned it back around on him. I really like that. So anyways, that's it. Let me know if you're still here. I do appreciate it. Roscoe says thank you. He also asked what was that, Roscoe? Throw some sofas and a silver plaque. Sofas and silver plaques, he says. He's just a pure snob these days. Anyways, thank you very much. Until Roscoe and I jump down to the comment section to hang out with you on those blue sofas, we'll see y'all soon.